Hello, how you guys doing? James here. Well, hope you having a good day. It's kind of a windy, rainy day out here. Well, I haven't did a video on this topic in a while. Uh, and it's on relationships, and I'm gonna start out with Phil from. I forgot his channel is called. Uh, I can't think of it. Oh, Phil Scott show. And this woman asked a good question about asking another ethnic group of women, which is white women, on how they keep a man. And I'm gonna let you play the video, then I'm gonna a couple more videos, and I'll make my commentary.
Sandwich plus fries, drink, and an apple. So you got one of the sisters that's really asking the snow bunnies for some advice, how to get brothers, because she's noticing that these snow bunnies are capturing the brothers, and she just wants to know what's going on. Let's check it out.
This message is for my white women, my snow bunnies. What are y'all doing to get these men to marry y'all? And y'all getting these millionaires, and then y'all suing them and becoming multi-millionaires. Like, help me out. I ain't no hater, I'm a congratulator. Help me. How are y'all getting these men to marry y'all? Because I don't have no kids. I'm fit. I'm cute as a button. I'm submissive. I cooperate. I'm not mouthy. I'm supportive. I'm not the type of woman that, oh, you gotta take me to the 5-star restaurant. You gotta make 6 figures. I'm good with what, 70,000. I mean, I go.
Okay, all right. Let's stop right there. You know, usually if you let them talk long enough, they're gonna tell on themselves. I'm good with 70,000, ma'am. The average American, you mentioned black men in particular, okay? FBA men in particular. The average FBA man makes at the 45,000. That's average, okay? We're not now 70,000. You're talking about a little bit above average there. You good with 70,000, ma'am? How much money are you making? How much money are you making? So because you're asking these, white women, you ain't gotta ask a white woman. You could ask a brother like myself what's going on. What happens is, and I talk to many brothers, of course, not me. I've never been with a white woman.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today.
Is, and I talk to many brothers, of course, not me. I've never been with a white woman. They say that the white woman get with them when they're making the average pay, but they also got something else going on. Let's say they're working on a business, they're working on their degree, they're working on something, right? So the white woman get with them when they're making the 45,000, and even the white woman, from what I've been told, put money in on what they got going on, and then when they pop, now they're making 6, sometimes 7-figure salaries. We talking about on the average when you're not talking about these athletes. And that's one thing that, from what I've gathered from a lot of brothers over the years, they have done for them. Okay, you're in the gate saying you're cool with 70,000. You may not talk about 100,000, right? But you want 70. Okay, all right, cool. And you're not having kids. I mean, is that an accolade? Because you shouldn't be having kids if you're not married, right? But let's continue.
To the gym, I cook, I clean, I let them touch my nasty parts. I mean, what are y'all doing? Y'all need a class to help me. I'm not afraid to say I need some help, white women. I'm not afraid to say, what are y'all doing? Because y'all getting these men to marry y'all, and y'all are being married. Y'all don't got that many baby daddies.
The reason why some of them don't have many baby daddies is because they believe in one word: abortion. That's why. They doing the same dirt, if not more, I would say more, than some of the sisters are doing, but they're quicker to abort. That's why they fight so hard for it, right? Because they use abortion to cover up their dirt. And when the Republicans, we're going political for a minute, when Republicans and the Supreme Court and all that had pushed that option to the states, then that made it a little bit harder for them. So when you mentioned about, let's say, the single parent epidemic in the black community, is because black women don't abort their children like that. If they were aborting their children like that, we wouldn't have a single parent epidemic, right? Just want to Put that out there. They've been pregnant. They just terminate theirs.
Okay, cool. Help me, DM me, fellas, DM me, and let me know what else can I do to find my husband. Cause I mean, I don't know what else that I can do.
The problem is right there. You say to find your husband. You're not supposed to be found. You know, you're not supposed to be finding him. He's supposed to get you. Okay. So your head is wrong already. You're not gonna find him, and $70,000. That's two strikes right there.
Like I make her lunch. I mean, what?
I mean, men can make their own lunch. I mean, you just kind of mentioned the bare minimum. You go to the gym. I mean, that's for your personal health. That's not for him. You make some food. I mean, do a man eat if he's single? Yes or no? Right? You say you let him, you know, do what y'all do. Okay, that's fine. What until what you get mad or until something happen? Like what? I mean, you talking like that's always going to be an option for him too, right? I mean, like you're not really selling it too well.
I cook like 4 times a week. I give up my nasty parts. I wear lingerie.
I mean, the way y'all dress today, I mean, y'all wear that on a given. That's what it look like.
I mean, I don't have a problem with getting them. I'm just having a problem with them not wanting to get married. Can y'all white snow bunnies help me out?
And that's it right there. She just said that's what finished it off. She has no problem getting them, but she can't keep them. So it's not the snow bunnies. The question is, what is it about you that they don't want to stay? What is it? See, what is it that make a man say, listen to how you present yourself. You cook 4 times a week. You say you give it up. You don't have baby daddies. No kids. You know what I'm saying? You stay in shape and everything. And even after all of that, they still don't want to stay with you. What is it with you? How's your mental health, ma'am? How's your comprehension?
Yes.
How are you with spending money?
Yes.
Because a man, let me tell you something, man. You want to get a man away from you real quick? Blow money. Go ahead and blow it. Let's see how quick you stay around you. How's your credit?
Yeah.
Like, is something going on with you? And you figure that, well, all that's I gotta do is this. No, it's more to dealing with a man than just what you discuss it. Let's call it what it is. Once again, I'm gonna run it down. You going to the gym is for your personal health. You're not having babies, so that's good, because why should you be a single mother? Cooking, that's, a man can do that on his own. He don't need that. You talking about giving it up? I mean, these days, let's call it what it is. Women give it up for getting their nails done these days or going to a dinner. Prostitution is, let's call it what it is. Prostitution is normal. People may not call themselves that, but it's normal. That's in the culture now. So that's not really that impressive. So you got to bring something more to it than just that. So it's something about you they not staying. You get them. How many men in the chat? How many times have you seen certain women and you're like, wow, she's attractive. Wow, she does this and that. But then you get to know her. You get to see how she really is. You're like, oh, no, I can't deal with her. Man, like, why is she like that, man? Like she looked this way, but man, I can't deal with that woman.
Right.
It's something about it. Are you clean in your house? Like, what is it? There's something about you that's getting them to walk off. And the white women, what they gonna do for you? They can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Figure it out. Instead of asking white women, why don't you go ask the men that you used to deal with? Go ask about 4 of them and say, hey, why aren't we together? And just don't argue, don't say nothing, don't even defend it. Just take what they say and write it down. And you start seeing a pattern in what those 4 men had to say, maybe you need to address that. That's it.
In 3 steps, I'm going to show you how you can make an extra.
Now, to answer to question, what's wrong? Well, on this next video, Miss Brooks, shout out to her, shout out to Phil, and this other video shows you why some women answer that question. Why certain women, like white women, certain white women, not all white women, can get a husband, and some black women can't, and other women who have this mindset can't. Watch what and some of the other women in this video can't. She's gonna point out some good things. Watch this.
For $1,000, $10,000.
I'm crazy for saying I will not date a black man that dates a white woman. And I'm not saying like you can have never dated a white woman. I'm just saying if you continuously date white women more than you date black women, I don't want to date you.
Well, if a black man prefers to date a non-black woman, the chances of him wanting to date her are pretty low anyway. But why even judge a man for wanting to date non-black women? Because I don't see black men judging black women for wanting to date white men. But I believe it's because she's probably not dating anyone right now. Because if she would be dating somebody, she most definitely would not worry about those men that she does not want to date.
And this man said, I never knew this side of life. And he said, being with my white girlfriend, fiance, and her family, he said, you know what it's like? And this is what got me, ladies. He said, it's like if you're in a crowded room and you're surrounded by chaos and just everything is just chaotic and noisy and loud and disruptive, and you take some headphones and you put the headphones on and you can drown everything out, because when you put the headphones on, it's quiet and it's peace. He said, that's what my fiance is to me.
I mean, non-black families have their issues too, and they can also be very chaotic. But that difference that she's talking about, that peace that this young man was talking about, and we're going to get into the details in a little bit, is the difference that you will only notice the moment you leave the U.S. And this video resonates so much with what my husband had to experience before he came to Germany, because the interaction with women in his environment versus the interaction with women he had over here in Europe are like night and day.
Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line. And by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny then snatched him.
I know that we all have our different opinions about Dr. Umar Johnson, but what he said in that short clip is very, very true. A lot of women have the expectations of meeting the fully finished product and a man making the six figures and just letting the woman do whatever the hell she wants to do. I know so many Turkish, German, Indian, mixed Italian ladies who have helped their black husbands to get to where he is now, and now their whole family just lives in abundance. They drive nice cars, they have multiple babies, and they're just living their lives. When women that these men wanted to have back in the day didn't want these men because they were not where they are today. A lot of women do not want to put in that work. A lot of women do not have the patience. A lot of women don't even know how to support a man in what he's trying to do. They don't even see where they could be as a couple in a few years from now if they are patient and willing enough to help that man. And with that being said, everybody, happy Friday and welcome back to another video. First of all, thank you all so much for all of the love, all of the support, all of the comments that I see in my comment section. Because without you, there wouldn't be a me, and without me, there wouldn't be this channel. So this is what I call teamwork. But back to today's video, which carries the title, is a white woman, a black man's peace, which is actually the caption to this lady's video. I'm just here to ask for a friend. But I do feel as though that if women, and you can say black women as well, of course, if they would compete less with their men and support him more, if they would have a less bad attitude and be more friendly or do not disrespect their men, they will probably not be this type of content. And I'm just saying this because I have seen the difference. But not only me, I have friends who make the difference. Women need to stop competing with their men. Women need to stop disrespecting their men. And women need to stop being delusional and having these unrealistic expectations, wanting to be treated as a queen but never are willing to listen to their king. Let's get back to this young woman who is explaining why she does not want to date any black men who are dating white women. Ugh, how could you?
Through my experiences and seeing the patterns that I see from black men that date white women, I just know that that's not for me. Like, the characteristics of that type of man is not the man that I see being my partner.
For one, how can you collect experiences with men that you don't want to date because they are dating non-black women? That's for one. For two, why would you even sit there and waste your time on things that you don't want, men that you do not like to date, instead of focusing on what you want and enjoying your dating life?
Yes.
Maybe it's because she doesn't have a dating life. And you know what the sad thing about it is? Those men that she is talking about, they're not bothered by her. They don't care about her mindset, her opinion. See, if she would not be so bothered, if that would not disturb her so much, if she would not be so concerned about who black men are dating, those men that she, by the way, does not want, there wouldn't be this video.
I try not to stereotype people or put them in a box, because I truly don't think that all black men that date white women or have a preference of white women are this way. I'm just saying I've noticed it enough for it to be an issue with me, and I just have noticed that those men tend to be uncomfortable in their blackness. They tend to be a little bit more insecure. I typically intimidate them, which I don't really understand, because
Hold on. How delusional does she have to be to believe that a black man is not confident in its blackness? That she is just too much to be dealt with? See, those are the exact type of things that men, any man, black, white, purple, would not want to deal with. How is you start a relationship with a man, but you're entering that relationship with the possibility of thinking that he's intimidated by you? What man on this planet is intimidated by a woman to begin with? That's for one. For two, maybe that black man that you do not want to date just sees some or has some preferences or sees something in a non-black woman that he did not get from a black woman.
Have you always had trouble with your weight? Me too.
Exactly.
Discover the power of
That he did not get from a black woman. You know, just like, let's take Eve for instance. Why is nobody coming at her for marrying a white wealthy man? When it comes to her, it's a whole bunch of go get it, girl, you got it, girl, you made it, girl, blah, 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 all of this. But the moment a black man wants to marry a non-black woman, it's a problem. Now some black women don't want to deal with them anymore because he chose a different route. This is crazy. See guys, too many women nowadays use their sexuality to impress and keep a man. But try to use your femininity and watch you transforming that man's whole world. The way he sees you, the way he talks to you, the way he treats you, things that he wants to do for you. This is what men are seeking and looking for. All of these women who look so good, who have everything going on in their lives. Yes, of course, an attractive woman is always going to get a man's attention, but really it's the connection between you and him. You can be the most attractive woman on the world, but if your attitude is crappy, then the best looking man is not going to want to deal with it.
Exactly.
Now let's get to this lady's video. Her video is actually about 6 minutes long, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you the meat and potatoes. She goes to the barbershop and she sees a young, handsome black man. He's tall, he's muscular, getting a haircut. She overhears his conversation that he's having with his barber. He's talking about how he just graduated college, he's an engineer now, and he's back in town to get ready to marry his white girlfriend. And when his barber asks him the question,
What made you decide that she was the one? What made you want to marry the white girl or the white woman? No, with no disrespect. So, what this young man said after that is what just literally took me out the game. As a black woman, as a black mom,
we are going to get into the man's answer in a quick second. I just want to jump in real quick and say that this could have been the story that my husband could have told, because my husband went to the barbershop before he boarded his last plane coming to Germany, and he was in the exact same situation. He was getting a haircut, talking to his barber, and when he mentioned that he was going to marry a white girl, everybody turned their heads towards him, and all of a sudden he was the center of attention, and people were so concerned about the fact why a black woman wasn't good enough anymore. And it's not even about that. It's about what this woman is going to explain in just a minute. It's about the difference to what he was used to. And I'm not saying that what he was used to is bad, but what he was able to get here was just better.
Says that, he come from, of course, the hood and had a hard knock life, just with one mom and no dad and that same shit. Like, don't nobody I hate the fact that that is such a stereotype. We hate it too. But, so he goes off to say that when he went to college, it was a college that was mixed, but more so of a white college. And he start, meeting up with white friends and, they introduced him to another whole world that he didn't know existed, and the young girl, she became a friend and then introduced him to their family. And when he goes over there, they're all married, the parents is married, and they have a really good home, and they do things together and they communicate. It's just a good energy, a good vibe.
Now, first of all, I would like to say that non-black families have their issues too. They may just be better in hiding it. But I want to focus on the words vibe and energy. See, when my husband came to our household, a traditional Turkish household, living in Germany, where everybody has their roles, there are rules and regulations. You're coming home from work to a home-cooked meal. You're sitting down. Everybody's asking each other, how was your day? There are set times where everybody has to be at home for dinner or else mommy is going to get upset. There is no disrespect, no hollering, no screaming. There is not coming home, going into your rooms and staying into your rooms to yourself all the freaking time. That's not going to happen.
And this man said, I never knew this side of life. My life was always loud and chaotic and always disruptive with my family. So the young man said, he would go over there, they would go on vacations, they would have Sunday dinners. When they had cookouts, there was no fussing, no fighting, no arguing. It was just all love and vacations. I was thrown at what this young man was saying in regards to what he seen and what he witnessed being with this young lady and this new side of life. And so he said that, when he seen it, he started thinking about all of the chaos that his life was. It was always baby mama drama and fussing and fighting, and they'll get together as a family and it'll be a fight, and the drunk uncles, the drunk mamas, he was like, my aunt and uncles, they all on welfare and always scheming and always fussing and fighting, cussing, trying to hook up with this dude and that dude, and it's just all these black women, just all that seems like that's all I was raised up under, that's all I seen. That's all I know.
And really admire this woman for her honesty and openness and willingness to speak about this, because when I was trying to speak about this topic a few months back, the world hated my guts. Of course, not everyone, you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, that's the difference that my husband experienced and that he was so intrigued by before he decided to permanently come here to Germany. The environment, the atmosphere, the whole coming home feeling, the feeling of comfort, the feeling of being welcomed, the feeling of being recognized, cared for. Somebody was at home waiting for him. Somebody was calling his phone, worried about him when he didn't come home at a certain time. That feeling of being appreciated. Of course, I'm not saying that all black family households are what this woman has described. Some of them are like this though. If they wouldn't be, that man wouldn't have had that experience. My husband wouldn't have talked about similarities like this one. You can't make this up. Just like the great Kevin Samuels said, if more women would adapt the thought and act like they are wifeable, then we wouldn't have these problems. Not on the dating market. We wouldn't have women talking about, oh, they can just do whatever they want. They don't need a man in their lives. All of this talk, you already know what. If women would be as feminine as masculine they are, it would be the complete opposite, and I think we all would be fine. This channel might not even exist, or I'll be making cooking videos. I am thinking about making cooking videos because I just love cooking, but that's off topic. So guys, what do you think about this topic though? Let me know.
Thank you for pointing that out, Miss Brooks, because you got some folks, or our folks think that's the culture. In some families, they think that being black, it's like You don't have to take another group of people. Sometimes it's our own mentality think it is. Some of us anyway. Some of us do think like that. And if something like that, something must be wrong. I mean, some people are used to dysfunction. As far as our culture, and that what I've seen with some black families. I mean, and that's what I've seen. And I've seen in some families where it's not that don't go on among black people, but there's some black people that do, and that's what keeps that division up. Their union, and then everybody gets mad, and go their separate ways.
In the comment section, what do you think of today's video? I hope.
So that's why it became a Passport Bros. That's why Passport Bros to come into existence, because I say a good percentage of those men came across women like that. That's why, and then you got other men going over there for other activities, but men like her husband, that's what they want. And it's like women here are not hearing that. They don't want to take accountability. But anyway, I'm gonna show you the next video. This guy just made this video. Shout out to Raul. Please act right. This is the reason why. Right here. Watch what he gives his pointers on, and reason why some women, like this woman, are losing men. Watch this.
You've been approved for $19 a month full coverage auto insurance.
And she had a husband.
Click the link below to fill
This
out
black woman had a husband. Watch what she did.
Eligibility before it expires.
One of my previous posts, I mentioned that after 75 days of being married, I asked for a divorce.
Hey, this is Raul. Please act right. Let's see how many red flags she showed her now ex-husband long before he agreed to meet her at the altar.
And really, it was 60 days. But I was like, maybe you tripping. Give it a second. Wait a minute. See, what's up. But at day 75, there was like an event that happened, and I was just like, no, ain't no way I'm finna stand this. I don't care nothing about no paperwork or none of that. I gotta get out of this situation because this ain't it. I'm gonna preface this story by saying I've never been a woman to stay in a relationship longer than I need to. I have always been the woman that has gotten away.
And I'm the same way. There's no need to stay in a relationship that's simply not working for you. But let's keep listening and see where this goes.
Now, I'm not going to say that I haven't stayed in situations longer than I should have, but when the light bulb went off, I had no problem sleeping. So, here's the story on how I got married, and after 75 days of being married, I wanted a divorce. I'm also going to say we didn't even have the opportunity to live together. So, we lived in two separate homes.
Red flag number 1. She doesn't even want to live in the same house with her own husband.
We actually met because he some kind of way found me on Instagram. He initially started DMing me, but it was just friendly. And then it went to, where are you located? What city are you located? So you talked about, I let him know in Atlanta. And he was like, oh, me too. I just moved up here not too long ago, Bob. So he asked me on a coffee date.
And here we go.
Which is should have been red flag number 1. So I politely responded to him, I don't do coffee dates.
Red flag number 2. A woman who truly likes you will accept a simple date, no matter whether it's a coffee date, ice cream, or a walk in the park.
That's what Miss Brooks always says too.
Keurig in my house with all the bells and the whistles. I don't need to get in my car. I don't need to get dressed. I don't need to drive in Atlanta traffic for no coffee. So if a coffee date is what you're offering, I'm not interested.
I wonder how she would have responded if he simply said to her, no problem, I'll come to you. Because see, that would have immediately eliminated her heavy traffic excuse.
He responds back, okay, it's no problem, cool. What we could do a restaurant. We could get drinks, eat drinks, get food, whatever, talk over food in a nice restaurant.
The minute she declined his coffee date, he should have stopped contacting her right then and there. Keep listening, it gets worse.
So I left him on red for like a couple of days because the coffee date thing didn't sit well. I don't do coffee date.
Red flag number 3. She didn't respond to him for 2 days. If she doesn't respond to a date that she claims is a better deal than the same day, fellas, walk away.
So He responded again and he was like, I'm not sure if you got my message, but I'd like to take you out. So I was like, you know what? Cool. Ain't no harm in meeting him. I will drive my car and meet him out.
Like I said in a previous video, if she doesn't respond to you within 24 hours, send her a simple text message that says, hey, I'm just curious. Are you okay? If she says she's fine, do not respond to her anymore. She has no excuse for not getting in touch with you. So basically, she just blew you off. She does not like you, or she's selfish as hell. And the majority of those type of women are not worth the chase.
Right.
So we decided to go out on a Tuesday. So infamous Taco Tuesday. When I got downtown to the taco place, Atlanta's downtown is crazy with parking. It's awful. So it took me, I was probably 30 minutes late, and I'm not usually late, but I was about 30 minutes late because for the life of me could not find where to park.
Red flag number 4. You know Atlanta traffic is terrible, so why didn't you leave early enough to make it there on time? Now keep in mind, anybody is excused for being late. But remember, she didn't respond to this man for 2 days, and that was after he reached back out to her again. And now you late when you already know traffic is bad?
So I shot him a quick message and let him know I'm gonna be late because I'm having a hard time figuring out where to park. So he was giving me instructions and he was like, I can come out there and show you where to park. Long story short, I found out where to park, got into the restaurant, and met him in the restaurant. Let me also say this. He was not really my type physically.
Red flag number 5. I don't date women I'm not physically attracted to. I may spend time with her because we're always around each other, and maybe her personality may overshadow her physical. But I don't start out by asking a woman that I'm not physically attracted to out on a date. Just like I wouldn't expect a woman to show me interest if she's not physically attracted to me.
And I don't even have a type physically, but he wasn't my type physically, if that makes sense.
Red flag number 6. No, that doesn't make any sense. I prefer slender women. That's my type. Period.
So, first date goes well. He walks me to my car. I go home, let him know I made it home, whatever. Exchange numbers so we continue to converse.
Take note, she hasn't said anything bad about this guy. And it sounds like he's been nothing but a complete gentleman. You know, a nice guy.
Now, I'm the type of woman, I don't call a man. I don't text a man. Even if we are in a relationship, I'm not calling your phone. I'm not texting your phone first. Call it what you want. I just don't. If a man wants to talk to me, he will reach out to me, whether that's text, call, whatever.
Huge red flag number 7. If she never initiates a text message or a phone call, that's the biggest level of selfishness known to man. If she's not giving back the same energy you're giving by initiating a text message or a phone call after you two been seeing each other and interacting for over, say, 2 weeks, drop her.
If I'm remembering correctly, when he got back from his birthday trip, we went on a second date, I believe. Regular conversation, everything's going well. Then he invites me over to his house. We start talking about where the area that we live in, and he lives on the total opposite end from where I live. So we went on a date to the seafood place. Again, nice time, conversation's flowing. We leave the date, we go back to his house. We're listening to music, we're just chopping it up, chatting it up.
They made prepaid the new contract? Mobile keeps it flexible. The fast mode.
Let me stop right here. Now you see why men are getting tired, getting fed up with it. And then why there's so many women here in America. Because they do stupid stuff like this. This the kind of stuff that they do. It's like, why put him through something like that? And that's why men are done with dating women. This is what he's saying on here is men are done. It's over. And then you got women out here will come on social media, TikTok, and these other apps. What's wrong with the men? What's wrong with the men? Because of women like this, showing her true self. This is the reason why men are done. This is why some men are done in the West. You know, and going to other places. This is what Miss Brooks is talking about.
Just $5 and up to 20.
We leave the date, we go back to his house, we're listening to music, we're just chopping it up, chatting it up. Cool.
She still hasn't said one bad thing about this guy.
I'ma say this.
Wait for it.
I don't like men.
What I'm realizing is that women are a special kind of stupid. And in most cases, I do not take them serious.
Oh my
And
God.
there it is. Red flag number 8. If you don't like men and you don't take them serious, then why in the hell did you not only go on a date with the guy, why did you agree to marry him?
It's for the moment, it's for a good time.
Red flag number 9. Basically just using him for free food, free dates, and something to do when she's bored.
If you talk to my sisters, my cousins, my friends, they will tell you.
So basically everyone you know knows you're a user.
Now, I find men attractive. I'm not attracted to women, but there are not a lot of good men at the core.
But keep in mind, while she's telling us this story, she has said not one bad thing about this guy. And if she was expecting someday for him to become rotten to the core, then why the hell did she marry him? He's a man.
And I've always known that. I didn't know how to explain it when I was younger, but I always felt it, like something about him. I don't really care for him.
Red flag number 10.
Oh my
What she
God.
just said, this woman has never been around a good, solid man.
Exactly.
How much you want to bet she was raised by a single mom and her sister and all the female cousins that she hangs around
Yep.
are all single too?
Yep.
If they never grew up around good,
Yep.
solid men,
Yep.
when they meet those men, they don't know how to function with them.
Right.
So, long story short, he asked me to marry him. I said, don't jump down my throat again, but I didn't really take it serious like that. It was just like, oh, you want to get married? Oh, go, let's get married. That's kind of how I said it.
What?
And he was like, no, I'm serious. I really want to get married. So I was like, because at this point, I'm just like, you're probably not going to be a man that I stay married to for my whole life. But
Wait, could you repeat that, please?
Probably not gonna be the man that I stay married to for my whole life,
But you accepted his proposal and stood in front of a whole bunch of people, including God, and recited, "Till death do us part."
I'm in my 30s, but like, well, we won't get married. We don't have more kids. I have always been very successful in my education. I've always been successful in my career. But my love life has always been, and he just caught me in a moment. And I was just like, you know what? Let's do it.
And red flag number 11. Let's just get married and devote our lives to each other till death do us part, even though I don't even like men and you're not my physical type.
Wow.
To the guy that married this chick, what the hell were you thinking about? Shut this video, because I want guys to stop looking at what these women look like and start paying attention to what they say and their actions. This man didn't do anything but waste his time with this woman, which he could have prevented from the very beginning. When he asked her out on a coffee date and she declined,
Right.
he should have just simply walked away.
Right.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Fellas, if she won't meet you for a simple date, she does not like you. Simply move on to the next woman that will accept a simple coffee date or a walk in the park date and has no problem initiating a text message or a phone call, even if it's just to check on you to see if you're okay. The ones who say they won't, I promise you, 99% of those women are worthless to a good man. And this chick just proved it right here in our own video. Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't.
Shout out to Raul. He plays act right. Well, here's my commentary on this. So the same type of people that get on social media, these are the same type of women that get on when they see black men with other kind of women, they get mad. These are the same type of women that will bitch and moan. They'll make TikTok videos and everything, and they be giving, they play the hater ride. Then they be making sneak dibs of passport bros and different people like that. But it's the same type of women. These are the same type of women men are in the West are getting tired of. This the same type of women. You see all the time, yapping about this, yapping about that. The only reason why they get all this money, they go to the white woman, they go to the Asian woman, they go to the brown woman. But it seems like the woman that they pick, the particular that they women care about their well-being. The women that they pick, like she said, like the one in the one video, is that they have wife material. They act like a girlfriend, fiance, how a wife should be. So you got some women in America, and I mean, there's white women do the same thing, but you got a percentage of black women in America that got this mindset, and that's why they're single. That's why they're single moms. That's why. I guarantee you, that's the reason why I sing. You ever see some attractive women? That's probably what it is. You're like, what? Man, she should have a man or husband. This the kind of mindset they have. Any kind of man. If you particularly don't want a black man, you want an Asian man, a Hispanic man, whatever. But they will have to deal with something. Maybe at some point, maybe they'll come to their senses and settle down with something like that. And then again, then they don't. Then they might expect something out of him. This is the type of women. This is what black men been saying the whole freaking time. Good men been saying. But other women do some the same thing, but they just so out with it, and they so materialistic with it. So that's why these men, most men, my age, younger, and probably, we're done. Some of us are done. Because when we see stuff like this, you clearly showing us you don't care. You don't have no nature, femininity, God-given love as a mother, as a wife, or anything. You're not proving yourself. You just want to be. It's all about you. It's all about your career. It's all about your look. It's all about your status. And you're gonna go older with that, and you're gonna be one of the prime women that's gonna be end up with a dog and cat for the rest of your life. Because that kind of mindset. What man wants to put up with that kind of mindset? Not many. And that's why you see a certain percentage of men, like Miss Brooks' husband. That's why I don't know, where he was at in his life, but when he got his money up, he jet. Because of women like this. That's why he jet. The men who are able to go overseas, the black men who got their money right. Because they've been told this all their life. You ain't my standard. You need to do this, and then you need to, and they so critique these. The same time will be critique. You never meet to their expectation. They're not satisfied with something. They got to critique you on this. They got to critique you on what kind of car you drive, what kind of money you make. You got to critique you, and they're not willing to compromise their work. Maybe black women back in the 40s and 50s, that wasn't an issue, but these women in the last 30, 40 years, black women today, oh my goodness, it's that's what it is. Then they got to belittle you and try to figure out some way to make you feel like a boy. And that's another thing. So when the man hits back and just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm going to find me a woman overseas that can, get out of that. And then the same type of women will try to say, well, they're not strong enough because they don't put up a fight. They don't put up a wear. That's why they let those women over. They let them men run them like that. They'll say some stupid stuff like that, but yet they're not in a. But you see the women over there in a relationship, in a good percentage of are married in a poor country with a constructive family. They ain't letting a whole bunch of men going through them. When you have men, who wants to go through, every woman come across a bad character of man. Every walks of life, every woman will come across one man with, and it depends on the man. But when a woman knows when she see a good man, he got a good character, he really care about it, we love her, she gonna keep that man. And maybe that's what the women over there in those countries value, where like what Miss Brooks was saying, when women some of these women over here don't even value it because they haven't displayed it. And then you have women here that already have the husbands. They figured it out. It takes two to make a relationship. But you got these self-centered women who just, it's all about their looks, it's all about their education, it's all about, their comfort. Now that their comfort, the reality is kicking in. Now you done ran off the good men because that man could have helped you have a stable house. You could have worked something out to work, but you don't want to work at it. You don't want to put in the effort that your grandma or your grandaunt's did. You got some lazy, entitled women now. And that's the truth. The black women, some of these black women are not like the black women, because and you guys know I'm a Gen Xer. Black men, and black women back in the 40s and 50s, they work it out. It wasn't about you got to be a high 3 or 4 6 glass. Our granddads and grandmas worked factories and railroad and shit. They come up with the come up, but she still had that respect for men. That was just like the white culture did. Black people was the same way. But somewhere along the line, we got kind of spoiled. It's the truth. And so that's why and this is the answer to some of these older black people, and some black people wonder, why are men going this way? It's because the women with that mindset. So you got a woman don't want, and I can speak from a man's perspective, don't want to be a wife, don't want to be a potential helpmate, and like Miss Brooks says, what is the purpose of being together if it's got to be chaos as the function? Because that's not normal when you raise, when you decide to make a family and children witnessing that stuff. This is what I'm talking about. But there are some people, or in some families, you and I know this, that they think that's normal. It's an Oregon cuss and fight, like the dude said, like what she was like, and he's right. And it's sad. But it does happen, like she said, it does happen with other families, but they don't. It's not a explosive issue like we make explosive. We just blow it up. But to the black women and black men, why are good black men going to because of women like this? That's your question. If you're a black man or black woman, why are we ain't come together? We shouldn't be with other nations because the women don't want to act like wives. And the women can say the black men don't want to act like husbands. But there's something that the ones that do, you don't focus on the black men that want to be a husband. You're trying to make him into a bad boy, a street dude. He can't be both. He's already corrected. He's always changing and correcting himself. It's too good. This is too normal. This ain't right. But this is what he wants. He wants peace in his life. But you want chaotic and stuff, because being black, that's just part of, in your mind, maybe with the house that you raised in, that's what it is. But to some black people it ain't, and this is what makes us different. So that's why maybe, and it can be some black women go to white men, and maybe because the kind of men that she saw. But I'm telling you, as a black man, this is the reason why some of them are going over and getting another woman, because it's not so much that it's the characteristics of the woman that they want. It's your characteristic. If you don't have a wife characteristic, a woman that's pushing her way to its wife character, act like a feminine wife characteristic. I don't care. You could be a white woman. If you don't have that kind of characteristic, ain't no man don't want that. No white man wants that. No Hispanic man wants that. They don't want no masculine woman. No Asian man, Arab man. Name a man on the planet gonna put up with something like that. That's what's the problem with you. And then you won't take accountability. Some of you won't take. That's why you're single. And you saying, God's trying to point that even the good Lord trying to show it. And you don't want to accept it. You have friends that try to tell you. You probably have family members try to tell you, but you just stubborn. You just the way you is, and you ain't gonna change. And you got one. You one of the women that got that. There's women that got that mouth. They don't want to change. And they gotta find fault in every man that they do. Ain't no perfect, but no man is perfect. But when it comes to the good Lord Almighty, God can perfect a man. And there was just like any man throughout time, since the Bible. But too bad some of you women don't have the patience for it. That's why you don't have your man. And if he was complete, you wouldn't be complete. He can have everything right, can be pristine, like a pristine, everything clean, up everything. And you still find something to complain. Now he's too good for you. You don't appreciate nothing. That's why you don't have it. And to the women, and this is to the women that complain. I'm addressing to the women that complain about this, about why some black men go to other women, why they're going overseas. And if you're a black woman that go overseas and find your man, that's cool. But you're gonna find it's the same way with men overseas. And, so I hope if you decide you want marry, and that you treat that man, because it's the same thing that black men wanted. Women would want the same thing. Now you have to find out, but that's your preference. That's one thing. The reason why I want to address this because it's always mentioned this online. It's all, and then everybody make TikTok videos. It's on YouTube and everything, and there it is. Those 3 videos. Shout out to those content creators and what the video is showing you. There's your problem right there. That's why we're not together in high numbers. Because you have the woman that don't want to act like a wife. She's trying to be and no man wants to wrestle with that. I'm strong and independent. Well, you need to do this and you need to do that when you ain't given a chance to do this and do that. Your mouth is preventing that. And it's your mouth that's caused pushing him away. To the point that he wants his peace. If I'm not to your ability, why does she have to do that in her case? Why does she have to do that? Why does she just stay single? Why does she just be upfront with him? Waste that man's time. And him, bro, there are good women out there that would treat you a lot better. I hope maybe you get a passport and travel. Maybe go to Africa and find you a real woman. You want to stay with one of color, or Colombia. Maybe it's a woman, could be an Afro-Brazilian or Afro that have some sense, that ready for a husband. Clearly, sometimes American women, like women in England and other places, they're not ready. They're just too ready to be entitled. That's why they're single. And they always gripe and make a video podcast about it. They don't want to take accountability. So, I guess for the women that do, until you shape up, your men is going to ship out. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to be with you and your girlfriends, between your girlfriends and your pets. That's going to be your companion. That's what's going to be in your family. If you don't want, if you're going to write men off, you might as well write them off. If you're going to be the man and the woman in a relationship, what you decide. If you really want a man, you decide. You have to change it. You have to ask God to change your mindset. Bring your femininity back. I think that should be a prayer for some women. Bring your femininity back, because you need to and help them how to be like the book of Proverbs. Teach them how to gird your tongue. Teach you when to speak and when to intervene. Learn to listen. Communication is the big thing. That's the reason why some men are leaving. Okay then? So hopefully, yeah, but to your reason why you ain't getting the men with the who already got it, who got the money, because they're watching this. They're watching these videos. Single men are watching this. Single black men are watching this. And high price 5-6 figure watching this. And when they see you making a video, it's been running them. I don't want to deal with something like that. So when they find out, that's why they're going overseas or they're going other places. Maybe this video will kind of have some women think about their actions if they are that kind of woman. Alright then, take care, be blessed. See you on the next video.